Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today is Fake or Real Thursday, with the craziest stories that just can't be real. Dad tries to give away teenage daughter's womb. Our first story comes from the Entitled People subreddit, posted by Cruiser1357. Recently reconnected with a childhood best friend, and it reminded me of this insane interaction from decades ago when we were 17. I spent a lot of time at my best friend's house when we were young. Her family was a lot nicer, wealthier, and more normal than mine. Her parents even took me in for a month when I had to leave home at a young age. So, we were hanging out, and one day her dad comes in really angry with her, just being generally rude, and said, "Are you still being selfish?" in a really passive-aggressive voice, and then walks away. I was like, damn, what did she do to Steve? Thinking it was just teenager stuff, but she gets really upset. She tells me that Dad's friends have been trying to get pregnant for a year now and just confirmed they can't have a baby. He asked her to consider being their surrogate. She really doesn't know these people and has spent maybe an hour with them in her life. Also, we're 17, so that's insane. I kind of thought she was embellishing a story to me, but then he starts saying it right in front of me a week later. I'm paraphrasing, but what I remember was basically, these people mean so much to me. Why can't you think of anyone but yourself? You could change their life. You could really do something amazing here. We would all have this incredible connection and the love of this baby. Do this for me. She kind of awkwardly looks away until he leaves and then starts crying. He pestered her about it until she was 18 and left on bad terms. He never got over it. The crazy part is, both couples were old and rich and could have easily bought a real surrogate or adopted. I'll never know why he insisted it had to be her. I kind of want to ask her if he ever came to his senses, but I moved away and we lost touch for the past 10 years, so it'd be weird to bring it up now. I just had to get this insanity off my chest. Down in the comments, a few people shed some light on why he was so insistent that his daughter carry the child, instead of them using a surrogate. The Simmer says, "I can tell you, the first step is to get her to agree to be a surrogate. Then comes the part about conceiving naturally." He says, not just underage, but women in general, more than a few dudes, have hit on their wives' female relatives with similar lines. You see, the wife can't have a kid, so she gets sad, and then the husband convinces her that they can get a surrogate, and to save the $15,000 or so per treatment for IVF, the husband will just have to take one for the team and knock her up the old-fashioned way. Equivalent Gazilia 82 says, "I literally read a story like this not long ago. OP's sister and husband were having trouble getting pregnant, so they went to OP. If I remember right, she was considering it, but only outright said no because they were pushing for the old-fashioned way. I don't remember OP's age, but I think she was under 25. And I think there was some kind of religious issue involved, but that could have been a different story with the same BS old-fashioned line." Tozza Fiona Self-Trouble says, "But it's better for the baby to be conceived naturally." Oh, gross. I hope this isn't true, but if it is, the dad's basically pimping out his daughter to his mate. I got my 6th grade bully fired and his girlfriend to break up with him. Our next story comes from the PettyRevenge subreddit, posted by Angels and Flowers. When I was in 6th grade, I was bullied by this boy in my grade. We'll call him Tom. He bullied me every day, especially during PE class. I remember thinking about how I was going to enact my revenge on him one day. Well, fast forward 10 years later, I'm working at a popular lunch spot, and my manager asked me about hiring this new guy named Tom. I knew it was him, and I gave him a bad recommendation, but that wasn't the end of it because he still got hired. I found out that Tom had a girlfriend who was trying to keep a secret. Anyways, one of my coworkers, who happened to be the niece of the owner, tells me she has a big crush on Tom, and they had sex the other night. I say to her, "That's crazy. Did you know about his girlfriend?" To say she was shocked was an understatement. My coworker immediately asked me for the girlfriend's Facebook information, which I eagerly gave to her. She writes up a beautiful Facebook message to Tom's girlfriend, telling her everything that happened between them the night before. And then, after that, she goes home and tells the owner about what a slimeball Tom truly is. Tom got fired like a week later, and his girlfriend broke up with him. My boyfriend gave me a pros and cons list about me as part of our anniversary present. Our last post comes from the Two Hot Takes subreddit. Posted by NoCockroach8154. I met my boyfriend on Tinder in the beginning of my freshman year of college. I was a very naive 18-year-old. I'd been on dates, but I'd never been in a relationship. I hadn't even had my first kiss yet. I was pretty miserable my first couple of weeks after move-in, so I got Tinder, and there I matched with a bunch of guys who went to my school. One of them I thought was pretty attractive. He was a junior and a brother in a good but notorious frat. He told me to come to his frat party, so I went with some girls that I met during orientation. There, he took me upstairs, and we made out, but I think he could tell I was very inexperienced, so nothing more happened. I pretty much fell in love with him, even though we'd only said about 3 words to each other. I didn't see him until a couple weeks later, when he invited me to a party he was throwing. I was expecting for us to at least hook up, but when I got there, he was clearly with another girl, and there was tons of random girls there who I assume he was also hooking up with. I was naive, but not an idiot, so I forced myself to get over it, and I didn't see him until my spring semester, when I drank too much and he ended up in my dorm, and I lost my virginity to him. I didn't see him again until fall semester of my sophomore year. We hooked up the first week we were back on campus. I didn't catch feelings again though, until we started hooking up regularly every week. At that point, I was again pretty much in love with him, although this time I did have my reasons, beyond him just being a large, attractive, and popular man. We weren't dating, but we got to know each other, and I saw his many virtues. However, it was still clear to me that he wasn't into me that way, and that I was one of a number of women that he was sleeping with, so I didn't say anything, and I kept it casual. He also had a pretty terrible reputation as an F-boy, even among his frat brothers. His Insta comments were usually filled with them, saying things like, "horniest man alive," and all 2,500 of his followers are his girlfriends. He graduated at the end of that spring semester, and we saw each other one last time before. It was incredibly intimate, and really cemented everything I felt for him. So, after we both left campus, I confessed to him that I really liked him, and that I wasn't okay with just hooking up with him anymore, for my own sanity. Miraculously, he also said he had feelings for me, and asked me out on a real date. We started dating, and have been together since. The whole time has been healthy and happy for us. Last Thursday was our 1-year anniversary of becoming official. He got me an incredibly thoughtful gift basket, including some jewelry, a painting, and a card. In the card, though, was a printed picture of a pros and cons list on a whiteboard. He explained to me that when he saw my confessional message, he was hanging out with his brother. My boyfriend said he didn't really know what to do. I wasn't sure if he wanted anything more with me, but he was tired of sleeping around and wanted a stable relationship. So his brother said he should make a pros and cons list of me, and he did. Here's a paraphrase of the list. Pros: cute, great butt, good in bed, horny, likes me a lot, sweet, has lots of friends, doesn't go out too much, close to her family, really smart and academically successful, good future ahead of her, definitely not a gold digger, would do wifey duties. Wifey duties? I'd want to dig more into that if you wanted to stick with him after this. Cons: kind of a slut. Oh, the hypocrisy. Met on Tinder. Again, dude, look in the mirror. Frat rat. Blacks out a lot. Doesn't care a lot about her appearance. Kind of nerdy. That's a weird one, because technically, that's both on the pros and cons list, you know? Academically successful? Based on that, he apparently decided to ask me out to dinner, and then decide what to do, based on how it went. And it went well enough, so we started dating. He showed it to me with nothing but good intentions, but I was absolutely floored, for obvious reasons. I've been pretending to be sick since then, as I figure out what to do. On the one hand, he is my dream man, and I'm so glad to be with him. He's been nothing but incredible to me, and we have a great relationship. And logically, I knew he wasn't in love with me or anything when he asked me out, as I'm sure he had some idea how I felt and never did anything about it. But it still hurts to think that his feelings towards me were so ambivalent that he needed a goddamn pros and cons list just to ask me out. He didn't want you, he just wanted our girlfriend to settle down with. And oh my god, this was an anniversary gift! Congrats! After heavy contemplation, I choose you! It was a tough choice. How romantic! I can't really talk about this to anyone in my life as a lot of them already dislike him. And I don't want to bias them anymore, so I thought I would ask here, what can I possibly do? I like to think that I have more self-respect than this, but I really love him, and I don't want to cause conflict in our relationship over something he definitely didn't think would hurt me. Too long didn't read. Going into a relationship with an F-boy in college, became friends with benefits after he graduated. I confessed my feelings, and we've been dating for a year. But for our anniversary, he showed me a pros and cons list that he made about me to decide if he should date me. I get girlfriends can be hard to buy birthday gifts for sometimes, but guys, come on. All I can say is, at least it's not as bad as that previous story I did, where the boyfriend literally insisted on weighing his girlfriend on her birthday to decide if he should dump her or not. I'll link it in the description. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.